Can we do a second take? All right. You guys are now tuned into the Artist Box Poet Takeover here at Jirani Coffeehouse. Hey, I get it together. I get my life together. All right, so we got a dope artist that's getting ready to come to the stage. Shout out to the DJ. I didn't even know you were in the building, but I hope you play my favorite song tonight, Mr. DJ. All right, cool. All right, you ready for your next artist? Let me hear you say yeah. All right, give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Miss Alexandra.
Hey y'all. Hi. I'm Alexandra. This is my first time kind of reading my poetry and everything out in public. So I have 3 different poems I'm going to read back to back. They each have a different title, but collectively it's called The Testimony. Okay. The first one is called Have You Ever? Have you ever? Have you ever had dinner with your rapist, had to smile, give a hug, and say hello? Have you ever had to pretend that thing that was going over and over in your mind, torturing you, was something you didn't even know? Have you ever held hands during prayer, screaming on the inside, yet staying calm on the out, trying to figure out what life is all about? How could they not see, or how you sacrificed yourself time and time again for the comfort of your own family, muzzled in silence, quieted and hushed, wishing you had razors so your blood could rush, painting the walls and the floors, but you don't because you realize hell is the conclusion that you would come to, stuck in between the past and the future, wishing there was a way to escape, but knowing that an unapproved departure would leave a bitter taste reminiscent of grape. Have you ever been accused of something you didn't do because your accuser saw something that someone did to you? You see, it's called projection, taking what you've seen, being traumatized by it, and believing that it was your own history, not just something you've seen. So everything in your life starts to become a putrid shade of green, wanting to move on and trying hard to heal, crying, screaming, wishing to forget. But the memories never seem to fade and the problems only seem to mount. At times, you've tried to end it so much you feel that maybe even God has lost count. Have you ever sat across from the face that haunted your dreams? Have you ever been so angry at everyone who holds them in high esteem? Have you imagined you ridding yourself of all the pain by stringing him up and allowing him to drain, making a pool of blood, sweat, and tears, making him scream out all of his fears? Have you traced every mistake and every pain and every heartache back to the moment you lost your soul and leaving at a story still yet to be told? Have you felt those demons pulling you down, chains wrapped around your neck, scraping on the ground, clanging and crashing, banging your head against memories formed with shards of road-colored glasses dipped in hatred and forged in the fires of disgust and disdain? Or the moments where you recall to your mind the little bit of truth you could get out to the ones who pledged their life to you, but realizing the struggle to get out what you have wasn't important and clearly unreverenced in the minds of those who pledged their life to you. Feeling the bottom drop out in your stomach and from your feet at the sight of an embrace, a smile, a handshake, a reminisce, and a praise? Have you longed for the days when your mind was unlocked, unconscious, and asleep, when your spirit was more than humbled? It wasn't meek, it was weak. When the truth was not so self-evident and the issues weren't laced in your blood, when the things you were taught to hold dear held you dear and cared and were there and were real and were true and honestly loved you? Have you ever wondered if he plundered down the same deep cold staircase for another girl? And I do mean girl, between 6s and 9s girl, making you feel all 6s and 7s girl, wondering if she knew or was she still asleep? And was it your job to show her? But how would you know her? They didn't know you. They couldn't see you. So what would you do? The silence of a lamb was reverenced at a point, flashes of the past forcing you to lace every joint. But that lamb was born to be sacrificed, very much unlike you. But it's too late now, you've been cut open, you're burned, so what are you going to do? Dreading holiday after holiday, wishing they didn't exist, swearing in your mind, losing consciousness for a bit, wishing your feet could carry you far, far away from this train wreck of emotion after years of sworn devotion and constant Kool-Aid potions, anger in every motion. But you smile and you get through because that's what you were taught to do. So in my exasperated, melancholy vernacular, I ask you, have you ever had dinner with your rapist? Thank you. The next one is called Soul Tie. The taste of the air on the tip of my tongue as you float by, the aroma of your sweat as it rolls from chin to chest. I am hooked, tethered and suspended, something like leather and strings stitched to my shadow, growing on me next to the hair follicles on my head like wheat and tear. I tried to cut you off, but began to bleed profusely as I cried out in pain. It was your voice that emerged from my throat, committed to carrying out a crime against my own heart, a puppet more often than a lover, my body moving and lifting, breathing according to your brainwaves. I gave you my air because I thought you needed it to breathe. I cut out what was left of my previously abused heart and placed it in your chest because you said she had shattered yours. But it was kept in a little box safely in her back pocket, and although I tried to steal it a few times, my arms were never quite long enough. I sat at the edge of a cliff and screamed at the thought of not being able to run away from my own self, and jumped, falling into the arms of one who never had any intentions of catching me. I started to tear you away from my skin and be rid of every poison seeping into my bloodstream, but parts of you ripped like a label, and pieces of you are stuck to me, and I am forced to wear them, soaking in liquids of abstinence and prayer that begin to become paper thin and begin to dissolve. But every now and then my body aches from cuts so deep a man named Thomas would be amazed. I find myself yearning for the very thing that suffocated me, to allow me to breathe, and the reason for my turmoil, to bring me a serenity of biblical proportions. But now, here I am, understanding that your intoxicating love was truly toxic. So I choose to release myself from you because there's only so much of me left. Thank you. This last one is called There Is a Love. There is a love out there somewhere, so strong that when passing over the earth it quakes. A love so pure its pH balance has yet to be charted. A thing so genuine it defies truths, it defines truths, designs fates, and defies all rhyme and reason. It is a cure for a special kind of sickness known to many. It builds nations and is responsible for the creation of past and present tense, the orchestrator of future blood vessels and veins, crafting those skin and bones into something beautiful. The culprit of the scene on Golgotha and the song you sang last Tuesday. There is a force that gives way to no one but everyone all at the same time. The aftermath of time, and yet the reason it exists. There is a love so deeply weighted and dripping with hope, clamoring to envelop your soul and restore the tattered remnants of your faith in all things good and true and real and dear, and here, right here in this space where you are, this type, no, this magnificently unperplexed and factual, beautiful genre of love is right here, asking, arms up and soul bare, for you to allow it to do its work for you, in you, through you, and for you, because you deserve it and shouldn't accept anything less. Thank you.